Ole, 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 ole. Okay, Oscar, welcome back to Focus on You.
Yeah, I'm getting my paperwork ready. Uh,
Uh,
doing my
really?
background check on our guest Gwen Stefani today. This is so good. Yes.
Gwen Stiff? No, hey, don't spread rumors, man. Next thing you know, you mentioned that they were like, fake news, fake news. Focus on You said they had Gwen Stefani, but it's not Gwen Stefani.
All right, fine.
All right. Welcome to Focus on You with Phil and Oscar. We're trying to stay focused, okay? But it's not working really.
Got
And
the monkey mind is working overtime today.
it's really just a matter of it's Oscar's fault all the way. But I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to blame you. You cannot help it. It's my fault.
Today
It's not you. It's me.
I got squirrels that need Ritalin in my head today.
Uh, okay, so we got Ms. Gwen Myslinski, right? Did I pronounce that right?
AKA Stefani. Yes, it's going to be.
Again, okay. I am not going to court because you said that. Okay, I'm not doing it.
You
Okay,
can't prove that.
not doing it. You know what? It's
Look, the private notes right here say
if
only
you
Gwen Stefani. That's
if
the
you would like to reach someone pertaining to Oscar's mistake on the live program, you can call 1-2-3-4-5-6-7-8-9-10-11-12. Okay.
Wait, we're live. We're not in pre-show. Never mind.
But this is going to be an awesome program, awesome guest that we have, and then we're going to go into a little bit of what PNN is doing. We have developed a standard. We never had
It's
one
low,
before.
but
Yeah,
it's a standard.
it's a standard. Yep, for how we're going to function as a business from this point on. And so we want to share that with you. That's a little bit later on. But of course, we're going to have our good friend Oscar talk a little bit about what's going on with Legal Shield and, who they support. All right.
And also, I shaved, and I have to reshave again. Got rid of the beard, so you don't call me Santa Claus. Anyway, Oscar Appel. I am an independent associate with Legal Shield and ID Shield. What we do is protect individuals, families, and businesses. If you don't have a law firm in your pocket 24/7, 365, it's not a good idea today. People are getting into car accidents. They're getting into things that they need to speak to a lawyer and get the information and get the right advice and not go to Google, Bing, and Yahoo as their law firm. Bad things happen to good people, so we need legal advice. If you've ever been, let's say, cheated or mishandled by a large corporation. I had a problem with Toyota that they told me there's a door, don't let it hit you on the way out. And what I call a motivational letter from my law firm got me a call saying, Mr. Capel, we're sorry for the misunderstanding. Here's your $500 back. So that is what having a law firm in your pocket can do for you. Again, someone we know was arrested because it was a traffic stop. They got arrested, gun out, the whole thing, because their stolen identity flagged them as a felon and needed to be arrested. They called a law firm, even though it was late at night. Law firm spoke to the police, had them know that, yes, this is definitely an identity theft problem. Called the Legal Shield people, had licensed private investigators from ID Shield do the restoration. So, that saved people more than once. The other thing that ID Shield has done is partner with Trend Micro, putting a VPN on all your devices. So you have just a one-way call. There's nobody listening to what's going on. And one of the things that's fantastic is their reputation manager. If you have kids that are living at home now and they're about to go get a job, it is vitally important that the AI scrubs their social media for any posts that could potentially not land them a job, if you know what I mean. Now, if Wednesday they have an interview and Monday the HR person goes through their social media, looking around, see what's going on, finds, the drunken bacchanalia Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, chances are the kid's not going to get a job. So having these two apps on your phone for basically a couple of dollars a day to protect the family is incredible. The other thing we do is donate to Our Rescue, which is a nonprofit that works really, really hard with law enforcement to stop child sex trafficking in the U.S. and around the world. They do aftercare programs for kids that have been rescued. They have dogs that are available for law enforcement to smell out thumb drives and hard drives that have explicit material on them. So they've been working 24/7, 365 also to try to stem the tide of what's going on with human trafficking. So any information that you would like from me, feel free to give me a call, 646-578-7097. I'll be glad to talk to you about any of those questions. Phil, back to you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. And I just always, no matter how many times you mention it, I love what OUR is doing. Our Rescue, they changed their name, but trafficking is a huge thing now. We all watch the news, so we see where someone just got, put in jail for that. And it's bigger. The network for that is way bigger than just one person.
They're estimating 350,000 kids that have come across the border are unaccounted for. 350,000.
350,000.
They do not know where these kids are.
Wow. All right, folks, here it is on Focus on You, because we want to bring this directly in your focus. All right, next we're going to share with you our 5 pillars for the Phoenix National Network. This is the first time it's going to be put out there in public, so hope you like what you see. Here we go.
I got no audio. Today's a techie day, probably. Phil, you want to read it out loud to us?
Oh.
Today's been Tech Glitch Day.
Oh, you couldn't hear it?
Didn't hear anything. Just saw the video.
Okay, let me try that one more time. Here we go. Maybe I have to stop sharing it. It should share the sound automatically. Okay, let me try that again. Oop. Okay. Again, we blame Oscar for any technical difficulties. To share audio, share a tab. Oh, okay. All right, let's see. All right, so I see. Here we go. This is what needs to be done. Okay. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Let's try that one more time.
Welcome to Phoenix National Network, where we embrace diversity and unlock success with FOQS. Today, I want to share something incredibly vital to Phoenix National Network Business Solutions of America. It's what drives our success, our core values summed up in one powerful word, FOCUS. That stands for faith, opportunity, communication, unity, and strategy. These pillars aren't just buzzwords, they're the heartbeat of everything we do. Let's start with faith. It's not just about believing in a higher power, although that's crucial. It's about having faith in our purpose, our mission, and in ourselves. When we have this unwavering belief, it propels us to achieve greatness. We trust that every challenge is an opportunity wrapped in disguise. Speaking of opportunity, it's all about seizing the moment. Carpe diem, right? Opportunity is knocking all the time. We just have to be ready to open the door. It's about recognizing the potential in every situation and taking bold steps to make things happen. Next up is communication. Clear, intentional, constructive, and compassionate communication is the glue that binds us together. It's not just about speaking, it's about truly listening, understanding each other's perspectives, and communicating with empathy. This creates a culture where ideas can thrive and innovation can flourish. Unity is our fourth pillar. It's about integrity in relationships. We don't have to agree on everything, but we do need to respect and harness our diverse views to align with our purpose and vision. Unity is about coming together, building solid and long-lasting connections. It's the foundation of a resilient, collaborative team. Finally, strategy. There's a saying, "He who fails to plan, plans to fail." Strategy is our roadmap to success. Visions fail primarily because of weak strategies. Every detail matters. Crafting robust strategies is what turns our dreams into reality. So when we put all these pillars together, faith, opportunity, communication, unity, and strategy, we get focus. And let me tell you, focus produces results. It's what sets us apart and propels us forward. Remember, these are not just principles to hang on the wall. They are actionable values that shape our decisions, our interactions, and ultimately, our success. As you go about your day, think about how you can incorporate these pillars into your own professional life. Because when you focus, you achieve greatness. Let's keep driving success together. If you'd like to know more about joining our team, call 862-237-3430 or go to pnnbusinesssolutions.com. Stay focused.
All right. And that is our pillars for the Phoenix National Network Business Solutions. We have totally transitioning out of just podcasting and streaming into a more business services type of business. So,
With sound.
with sound, yes, yes. So I don't know what's going on, but my whole system is playing tricks on me today. But you know what? You know what the high point is? We got Gwen.
Gwen.
We've got Gwen. All right, say it with me. Gwen, 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 Gwen. Gwen Stefani's here. Oh, wait, no.
Gwen Myslinski Stefani.
Welcome to Focus on You, the entry level to the Madhouse. Hi, my name is Phil. My name is Phil, and I'm one of the captives here, and the warden is Oscar Cabell.
Did you say one of the captors or captains?
Set me free, Gwen. Set me free.
The inmates are running the asylum here.
I better run while I can.
How are you doing, Gwen?
I am super fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Awesome.
How are you if you're captured? I'm not really sure.
Well, okay, so I met Oscar over 4 years ago. It's been 4 years about now. And so
We have the same parole officer, so yeah.
Whoever introduced us,
I think I need to have a talk with that person.
Absolutely, they did it was a totally wrong move, and we've been like close friends ever since then. And so we started a podcast about 3 years ago, and it's been going ever since. But we love doing this. We love featuring people who are doing amazing things. So we're going to give you just a quick second. Our first question is always, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Who I am. I'm amazing is who I am. No, I'm just kidding. I have to have a little fun while I'm here.
It's not a high bar around here. It's you can be amazing.
I'm just saying. So my name is Gwen Myslinski. I tell people to say my last name, think of my Slinky. It's way easier to remember, and it's so much more fun to say. And it pisses off my ex-husband. Win-win for all.
It's a win-win.
It was for me. I don't care about him. Just saying. So I started a company called Convergence Marketing. I had a digital studio a while ago, and I switched it over to Convergence Marketing last year. And I offer a whole lot more solutions. So I do a lot of writing, content creation, marketing strategy, branding, all that fun stuff. I focus on startups and small businesses. I really try to avoid corporations. Yeah, I can work with corporations, but I prefer not to. I like the little guy. I like to work with females and Black people, Black women, Black men, Latinas, anybody who has a problem working with and getting noticed, really. And the reason I do that is because, especially with investors, with startups, a lot of times these underrepresented groups don't get noticed as much. So I go in and I'm like, all right, a lot of times, no offense, Oscar, these white guys get all these easy questions. So everybody else gets these much more difficult questions. And it could be a similar question, but there's a negative undertone to it. So what I do is I work with a lot of these people and I say, okay, these are the kinds of questions you're going to get, and they're going to have a negative undertone. Let's make the narrative a little bit different. This is how you answer those questions. This is what you need to do. This is how you change the game. And so I help them tell a story that's going to impact what they want to do. And I make it all very, very authentic. I don't BS people. I tell it like it is. And I want to make sure that marketing is not all about a used car salesman, which is what a lot of marketers are like. I like to be very authentic, and I will tell people, listen, if we're not going to work well together, if we're not going to get along, I don't work with you. I'm not about trying to take your money. I am going to get you results. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to figure it out, or we're just not going to work together. And that's okay. I am not hurting for clients. I'm not going to try to take money. I want to help you get the results that you need. And I want to work with people who actually need the help. So that's who I am.
Wow, you know what? I think we've met our twin, Oscar, like really, because we're so like
Who can we help and who don't we care that we piss off? Is pretty much
no, but it's more like, you know, we're at the stage where we like to work with people we like to work with.
Exactly.
It's not really about, you know, it's like there's so many times that we have people, Oscar knows, we have people come in and they're all excited, yeah, you know, and then we realize that they bring a lot of static, you know, with them, and it's like, we don't do static around here.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, you know, it really isn't. So it's so refreshing to hear like of somebody that wants just to do straight work. You know, I don't mind. You know, we being friends is great. I mean, I try to become friends with those I work with. Most of the people here within our partnership group, we're all, you know, we all work with each other, refer each other. It's that kind of you know. I realize it's not about how many people you have in your network. It is the effectiveness of your network, right?
Absolutely.
And you know, so that's really the bottom line of it. If I like you, I'll refer you. I'll talk about you all the time. Something comes up with houses or mortgages, the first person I think about is Richard Cusiel.
You don't
know,
refer them to Richard, but it's the first person you think about.
first person to think about.
Yeah.
You know, and then but he's really good at what he does. Let's be,
Yeah.
as far as details and getting into it, he does his good work. So I love hearing that about you as well. What are some of the services that like what are some of the things you run into when it
So
comes to dealing
when
with
we're talking
clients?
startups, so I'm amazing at writing. So when it comes down to startups, a lot of times startups get in their own way and they're like, I have this amazing idea and this is what I want. So they will approach me, I want a marketing partner. And they'll say, can you work with me for like 20 to 40 hours? I'm going to give you equity in the company. And I'm like, no. One, I can choose at this point who I want to work with. And I could have equity in probably 100 companies right now, and I could give a rat's tush. I don't want equity in your company. I want to pay bills. I am a single mom. I want to feed my kids. So I want to make sure that they're taken care of. I want to make sure that I can pay my bills. So if you're not going to pay me, I don't want equity in your damn company, quite frankly. Pay me.
Pay me up front.
That's how it works. So if you believe in your company, you figure out how to make the money and bring it to me. I'm not going to work for free. I'm too damn good, quite frankly. Secondly, people talk about pain points and problems and solutions. So what a lot of times what people will do, we live in a society of me, 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 me. We all three of us are like that. Everybody is like that. That's just how we are. That's how we're built. So what companies do is they want to go and sell their company. They want to tell you about their company because their company in their eyes is amazing. So what I teach them to do is I tell them nobody cares about their company because nobody does care about their company. So I teach them to understand their audience. They have got to learn about their audience. And the way to do that is to talk to people, to ask questions, to always learn, to make sure that you're writing things down. And so when you approach people, talk to them, learn about them, make them feel special, make them feel heard and understood. And then once you actually get to know who your audience is, find out all of their pain points. This is what marketing is all about. Find their pain points and then figure out how your solution is going to fit into those pain points. So let me give you an example. Let's talk about our phones, okay? When the first smartphones were created, we didn't know that we needed them. So when Steve Jobs created them, what did we carry? We carried a phone, we carried a camera, we carried something for our music. What was the pain? And when I'm talking pain, I'm talking how did we feel about carrying all that stuff? It was frustrating, it was difficult. Even the guys, you had to carry all this stuff, or you gave it to a lady friend to put in her purse to carry that camera, or we were lugging all this crap around.
Yeah, you remember 8 tracks?
Oh my God, yes.
You needed a suitcase for a 2-hour trip.
I loved 8 track, so you can't.
You're the guy.
I love vinyl too. I still love
Me
vinyl.
too.
Vinyl is okay, but when you're traveling, discs were good with that 8 tracks. Like you literally was this suitcase that would put all the 8 tracks in.
You put them all in, and they were sitting on the front, Steve. You have to
Right.
lift them up.
Sorry, I can't have a passenger.
Okay, my dad had a blue Maverick with an 8 track player in it.
Right?
When he brought that home, man, it was like
It's travel time.
road trip.
So the phone changed that. Put everything in your pocket.
Here. And we didn't know that we needed this, but now could you imagine carrying all of that again? Hell no. So he saw a need that we all wanted before we even knew we needed it. He saw that pain. So that's what these companies have to do, figure out what those pains are for us. I mean, and we have those things all over. We don't always understand what our pain points are. It's up to these companies to figure out what they are and then present the solution. And it's all about storytelling. It's all about talking to us and figuring out what that is. And it comes through writing, through messaging, and talking to people. And that's part of what this marketing is being authentic and talking to the people and understanding them and learning and learning and learning and asking questions. And that's what I teach them. Don't sell your solution. Nobody wants to hear it.
Wow.
Sell yourself. Sell what they want. It's all about them. So
One of the things I learned is selling isn't telling. Selling is asking. And even what's his name from The Wolf of Wall Street with the "Sell me this pen." Well, do you use a pen? No, I'm selling. And as I tell people, you can have the best lemonade in the world, but if someone has just finished lunch and drank a gallon of water, like, "Hey, here's this lemonade. I really don't want it. Great, I don't need it.
But
Find out. Are you thirsty? Oh yeah, okay.
you know what I hear? What I hear from Gwen though is that she meets the need, right? No, she's not just like throwing stuff out there and like, oh my God, I pray that it sticks. It's like she sees where, okay, you're a startup and you're doing A, B, and C backwards.
yeah. Yeah.
Here's how you get that right. And she builds like a roadmap. Now, Gwen, I'm going to throw this out there. Like, I want
Please.
to show this. Like, boom! Look at your website. I think it is fantastic. It's an amazing website,
Thank
and
you.
I see some of the services you have. Tell us a little bit about each of these.
Let's talk about it. So marketing strategy all comes down to your audience. It's how do you go after your audience? Are you trying to get investor money? Are you trying to get clients? Are you trying to raise finances before you go out and sell your MVP? And an MVP is your minimal viable product. So I'm talking about startups. Or are you further along in your journey? Are you a small to mid-size company? Do you already have revenue coming in, but it's not as much as you want? You want to make more. You want to meet your goals. What do you need to do to meet these business goals? So that's where your marketing strategy comes in. The
Okay.
content strategy. So content and copy are very different. And most people don't know that, nor should they. That's my job. I need to know that. You don't. So content is where you put your messaging and what you say everywhere. So it could be on your website, it could be on your social media, it could be just talking here on a live stream. It's making sure that whatever you're saying is the same thing all over. Your brand is not just what you say, but how you look. So you will see everywhere that I present myself, I have the same color scheme, for example. So
Gotcha.
I'm always using blues and pinks. I have like 3 different colors of blues. I have the pink, I have yellow, and I have black for everything all over, as well as my typography is exactly the same. I know exactly where everything is, and it feels very cohesive. And my messaging is exactly the same. You will see that in my personal life, as well as my professional life, I am no nonsense, no bullshit all the time. Sorry, I swore. But that's who I am. If you can't handle me swearing, and I tell this straight up to my clients, if you can't handle me saying the F word, I don't want your money. That's who I am. Sorry. So that's branding. That's just who it is. So digital marketing, It can be all over. So digital marketing could be a podcast. It could be a live stream. It could be social media. So there is an array of digital marketing, and it goes for a lot of different things for different people. So what my job is to figure out where you need to be. So some people think for social media, they need to be on every single platform. That's not true. You need to be where your audience is. So if your audience is on LinkedIn, then you're on LinkedIn. If they're not on TikTok, don't be on TikTok. It just depends. So my job is to figure out what your needs are. I'm not going to sell you freaking everything because I don't want your money in that aspect. Don't waste money when you don't need to. And some agencies will just say, oh yeah, you need everything. No, you don't. So that's what I do, is I make sure that you get what you need and not what you don't.
That is awesome. So you basically simplify the process,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the mindsets you have to deal with when it comes to that?
That's a fantastic question. So the there's I don't even want to say the majority of the time. So it depends on who I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some people who will come in and try to think they know a lot more than I do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And I'm like, that's fine. You think you know more? Great. Perfect.
I can't.
I don't care. I'm not going to fight you on stuff. I have at it. I don't care. If you want to work with me, great. Let's complement one another. I don't need to fight you on anything. If we're going to work together, great. But if you think you know more and you're better, have at it. Why are you contacting me? I don't care.
It's like, why are you contacting me is the question, because I've run into that like 1,000 times. Like somebody says, I want to do a podcast. Great. Here, what do you want to talk about? When you start talking to them about the planning of it, oh, I don't want to, no, I don't want to plan.
No.
I just want to shoot from the hip. I'm a natural talker. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, wait.
Have at it.
So one day I had somebody that did that, right? And I said, okay, go. And they started talking. 5 minutes later,
I'm done.
what's
I
happening?
knew someone that was in television that said these reality shows are scripted. He says, you don't know how boring people are when they're not handed a script. It's like no one would watch a reality show.
It's all about storytelling, and if it doesn't sound right, you're gonna have people like, okay, I am not watching even 5 minutes of this, 5 seconds.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, I had one guy who claimed he was a CMO, 24 years old. I've been doing this for 25 years.
Oh yeah, I love the 20-year-old life coaches. Like what?
Okay. Okay. And he's like, so he started interviewing me.
Oh,
And I
nice.
was like,
Okay, yeah,
awesome.
wonderful. Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry to put you in the hot seat. Bring it on,
Okay.
bitch. Sorry.
Okay.
I gotta stop. And he's like, so can you tell me about your greatest achievements? I'm like, this year or my life? I'm like, I'm not prepared for this. I don't know. I said, I have so many clients. I can tell you what I did last month, but I don't know. He's like, well, I did this organic search for Twitter and we got like 30,000 followers or something. I'm like, okay, good for you.
Whoopee!
Fantastic. And how many conversions did you get with that?
Wait, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I'm laughing because we're all older folks. So beer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I was talking to somebody. Was it maybe a few weeks ago? I was a stylist for a fashion stylist for about 15 years. 10, 15 years. And so I was expressing to somebody, I said, because they were telling me how to sell, right? I've been in sales since I was 15. I started in a wild pair shoe retail. Okay. that was my gig. And so he's telling me all about how to sell and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm almost 50 years old. Do you know how many seminars I've been to? Do you know how many training sessions? I have literally over 100 hours of training sessions.
I've got training books older than you.
All right. So let me ask you a question, both of you a question. Do either of you have kids?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So think about this from a parent perspective. Don't we have to sell our kids from the time they're born to do what we want, like to feed them, to bathe them, to do anything that we want from a parent, to go to school, to do anything? Isn't that part of parenting?
It's a whole negotiation. I have a 3-year-old I have to negotiate with.
Right?
and she's good. She's really good.
Right?
Hey, listen, I lost an argument to my daughter when she was a year and a half. All right, so they do real quick. She had a toy camera, left it in the middle of the room. I'm like, here's a teaching moment. Like, what's that? It's my camera. I'm like, okay, what's it doing there on the floor? It's resting.
Oh, that's
And I'm like,
amazing.
I just lost an argument to a 1.5-year-old. This is going to be a long, hard journey.
Right? So as far as selling goes, any parent knows how to sell.
That's right.
We're versed in it. We do it every day, all day long, 24/7. From the time they're born, from the time we bring them home, well, from the time they can talk, till we're dead. That's what we do. So anybody who says we can't sell and they don't have kids, I want to be like, seriously? Come to my house.
Oh my God. I love
So I
this.
just wanted to say this to this 24-year-old, like, seriously? Seriously.
Okay, so let me say this. I remember when I was 24, 25.
I can't remember 24. I'm that old.
No. Okay, so let's
Remember
not
dust being invented.
listen. I believe you. I believe you, Oscar. But okay, so you really remember when our parents tried to tell us stuff,
Oh,
and we were like,
I know everything.
yeah.
"Excuse me, do you know who I am? I'm a straight A student."
I actually apologized to my mother, like, because of how awful I was. I had that conversation with her. I'm like, Mom, I'm so sorry. I was a terrible teenager to you. I was like, I'm getting it now. I'm so sorry.
My mother would say, "You'll have kids one day." And just leave it at that. I'm like, yeah, I will. So what? And I'm like, oh my God.
It was that moment. It was those, like, where we just you put two sticks in your ears and just kept it moving, and then your parents are looking at you like, okay, I'll see you when you come back around.
So this is not a knock on anybody who is not a parent or
Right.
anybody who's young.
Congratulations. Right. You own your life.
I'm jealous.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm jealous.
We remember. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to say. We remember, we honor you in your journey and wish you the best. Literally. Okay. So, I know that all these fields are very complex, especially marketing strategies and having that conversation. Are there specific companies that you target? Who would be your perfect referral or perfect client that you work with?
Mm-hmm. So my perfect client, I like people who are in their startup phase. I prefer women, just because I really want to help female founders. I like people who know what they're doing. I want to work with people who like to work with other people, who are willing to work with me and not against me. So I have worked with too many people who have said, yes, this is good, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I don't want to work with somebody who's going to be a roadblock. I have no problem firing clients. I have no problem saying no to clients. I don't like doing it, but I only bring on clients who I see real potential in, just because I can at this point. So, industries, ah, I can work with a lot of industries. Um, I've worked the gamut, quite frankly. So I do understand a lot of industries.
Mm-hmm.
What I really want to do is just I want to help people who really do need the help and need
Mm-hmm.
the guidance. I want to help people who need it. So, I mean, like I talked to yesterday, I talked to a woman in Atlanta, and she's got a fantastic idea for recycling tires and how this can really help the community, not just in Atlanta, in Georgia, and how it can spread. And she's a Black woman. And so I was talking to her about how fundraising as not just a woman, but a Black woman can be very, very difficult. And so as she and I were talking, I was like, listen, this is how we need to approach it. And she finally felt like somebody heard her and just
Wow.
got it. And that's what I want to do, because women, Black women, Latina women, Asian women, people need to be heard and understood. And that's what I want to do. I want them to be successful, because then I feel successful. I want them to make a difference in this world, because there are so many things that can happen. There are so many ideas out there, and they need a chance. And sometimes they just need somebody to hear them and to help guide them. And maybe I can be that person. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not that person, but maybe I can get them in touch with the person that can help them.
No, but you know what? Here's the key point to what you're saying. With 25 years experience, there's a lot of trips and failure points and
Sure.
recoveries, and there's a lot that you experience in that time, and that's what I kind of sense from you is
Yeah,
there's a lot you've covered that you can help somebody avoid.
absolutely.
And it's like, there's some marketing agencies that don't even have that kind of collaborative experience.
And that's
So
my
mhm.
experience.
Right,
So,
right.
speaking of your experience,
Yeah,
you've had a very, very incredible life. I mean, we're always talking in the show about overcoming obstacles. It's either a stepping stone or an obstacle, depending on what you look like. Give the people an idea of, that this was not a, like, I woke up, at 4 years old and I wrote my first symphony.
no,
You know, the,
I've been through the ringer. You're right. You're right, Oscar. So at, I was a big athlete when I was in college. I did some amazing things, which doesn't matter. I had to overcome a lot. So when I was 32, I had an extremely massive stroke. So I had to relearn how to walk, talk, eat, swallow, all this stuff. My daughter was 9 months old. When I was lying in the hospital, there was a couple of things that happened. So one, they treated me like I was on drugs for 3 days. And they thought that I was young and I had food poisoning at the time. So things were happening to my body, which is why they thought I was on drugs. But the tox reports kept coming back clean. So while I was experiencing all that, I had to decide if I was going to live or die. And that's a lot. Nobody could understand me. I was talking with my hands. And so I decided I was going to live. And I decided that for my daughter. So for the next year, I worked my tail off. So I put into action everything that I learned from athletics to come back. I couldn't get out of the hospital until I could carry 25 pounds going up and down steps because that's how heavy my daughter was. So I worked my tail off. I couldn't stand. I mean, it was hard. And I would play mental games with myself to try to come back. I mean, like I had to put pegs in holes. And I remember they wanted me to put so many pegs in so many holes, but I wasn't good with it until I got in like 2/3 more than they wanted me to. I pushed myself so much more. And I treated it like I was an athlete again because I had to get better. But on top of that, I developed an accent. So instead of being sad about it, because I was in communications, I did speeches, I did all kinds of things. I told people I was from Iceland. I learned everything there was to know about Iceland. So I tried to learn the language, which was impossible to learn. But I, for Halloween that year, dressed up as an Icelandic elf because 50% of the population believes in elves. I mean, I learned everything there was to know about Iceland. I told people everything, how I grew up. And I mean, I knew everything about Iceland. Eventually, that accent went away. And when I did go to Iceland, I realized that my accent was nothing about Iceland. But that's okay, because when I made up gibberish words, people were not going to not believe me because I had the Iceland accent.
So you were more from Ireland than Iceland.
I don't know where the hell I was from. But I would be like, blah, blah, blah. We're like, what'd you say? Oh, I said I loved you. No. It was great. It was amazing. People were like, oh, I thought you were like Southern or something. I didn't realize you were from Iceland. Awesome. So that was 4 years. And then 4 years later, I had emergency surgery, life-saving surgery. I had part of my intestines removed.
Wow.
So my 30s sucked. And then I had to run from an abusive marriage. So I had to run with my kids. So that came a little later. So my 30s were just atrocious, needless to say.
Right.
But I took all of that. So each time I did something, I was not going to let it stop me. I wanted to do something. And each time, so I became a triathlete as well, which I don't know if anybody knows what that is. It's swimming, cycling, and then running right after one another. And it's very difficult. And because I had played volleyball, that is short bursts. Well, triathlon is endurance. So it was long. So for me to go from volleyball to triathlon, I had to train very differently. But I wanted to do something for myself. So not only was I focused eventually on business, I was focused on the athletic aspect of it. And I was not going to stop. So, when I eventually came into Convergence Marketing, the reason I chose the name was because I finally came into myself. I was like, this is all me. This is the convergence of my life, of my children, of my personal life, of my business, of everything. And I live in Pittsburgh. So there's 3 rivers. So it's the convergence of the river. So this is all serendipitous. So, I was like, you know what? I can do it all. So I did. I am. So
I've tried running. I can make it from the bedroom to the bathroom, and I'm like, I'm good. That's all the running I'm doing today. That's it.
This is an amazing story. I don't even think we've even touched the surface of it. But Gwen, because of time, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
What would you want to leave with our listeners as we close this interview?
So honestly, I want to tell people never to give up on themselves, because that's the most important thing. You are the most important asset to yourself. Never stop believing in yourself and just go for it. Your dreams are more important than anything. And if you're not around people who don't support them, then find people who will, because you can do anything. You've got to believe in yourself and go for it.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oscar, any final words?
No, I love this conversation. Love to find out more about Gwen, not Stefani, um, and and see how she can she can help more people and how we can get her business out to people that are, like you said, like they make the best bagels in the world, but they don't know how to market their business.
Yeah.
So what good is that?
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening and for Gwen for coming on. Thank you for coming on Focus on You, Gwen. It's a great experience. And everyone, we will see you again next week. Join us for a new guest. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Thanks.